Welcome to WEF Weekly. I'm Oliver Kennedy filling in for Stephen Wild. Last week we saw top-level competition was the first five-star of the season. And now for WEF 6, we kick off Hunter Week here in Wellington, right here on WEF Weekly. Well, it's World Champion Hunter Rider Week, the first World Champion Hunter Rider event of the season here in Wellington. Big money as well. Our title sponsor this week is IDA Development. You dream it, we build it. Visit our showroom between the McGavro and International Schooling Rings or visit idadevelops.com. Presenting our live stream is Dodd Technologies, an industry leader in creative, design, and technology support services for sports, entertainment, corporate, and special events. Visit us at doddtechnologies.com online. We're also brought as the USEF, a supporting sponsor of our live stream, in part with the support of the U.S. Equestrian Federation and the USEF network. And now let's take a look back at our Fidelity 5-Star Week. Heading over to dressage, first with a win from Adrian Lyle and Helix during the World Cup Grand Prix on Friday. And they tabled a score of 73.283. See her work there, getting herself valuable points towards qualifying for that World Cup finals for dressage. Back over on the international side, we have the Fidelity Investments 5-Star Grand Prix on Saturday with Mimi Gotchman in third place on Inkland BH as we take a look at her work. And then it was Christian Cook. He led the way as our first clear, and he finished up in second. And then Kent Farrington on his Greya took the overall win as they finished up on top in that competition. Again, just a little over 0.3 of a second faster to take the win. Then we had on Friday night last week our Team Hunter event, and Team Liza Boyd had a 178. Team Jeffrey Hesslink on a 179.5, and Team Nick Hannes winning overall with a combined score of 180 to take the victory. Week 6 is our Hunter Week here, and we're joined by three incredible Hunter riders today. World Champion Scott Stewart, our reigning World Champion. Nick Hannes won all three of the Hunter Spectaculars last year. And we have Paige Walkenbach, who is the reigning Junior World Champion. Welcome all. Now, Nick, we're going to start with you. And you come off of that win in the team class last week. Now, you've been mainly in California and just came in this. Your first outing of WEF was last week. You had a 91 on Queen Celeste in your team. Tell us about that competition.
Well, last week's competition was very exciting. It's for a great cause for the Boys and Girls Club. Kind of a different element of the class being that it's a team class. So, you know, as riders, we have our own pressure, but when you're on a team with someone and you don't want to let your teammates down, it just makes it even more exciting, but way more pressure.
You know, Scott is an 8-time world champion, but something nobody has done in one season is to win all three spectaculars. Last year you won here with McQueen.
Yep.
The Walkenbachs, of course.
Yes.
You then go and win on the West Coast with Golden Road. And then you go back in Michigan and you win the Central one aboard McQueen again. Tell us about that last year.
It's pretty much just unbelievably a dream come true. Honestly, I feel like I won like the Hunter World Series. It's just amazing to have a result like that in one of those classes, but to be able to say that the year concluded with 3 of those wins is really just, it's amazing. I was saying earlier, you know, these horses are all tremendous athletes. They're all super nice. I cannot thank the owners and the teams behind all of the horses that make those magical moments what they are. And I just always say it kind of just comes down to luck. You know, everyone has great horses here, and all those classes were filled with phenomenal horses and riders. But it really just comes down to that being your moment. And fortunately for me, that was my moment times 3. So I'm so grateful for that and excited about you know, this week's big class coming up and the ones coming up in the future.
And your sister's horse, Paige, was the one who won 2 of those events. What is that like as an owner?
It was really special, especially for her to watch McQueen do it for one time and then again in Michigan. It was really cool, and I loved supporting her, and Nick was obviously amazing with McQueen and rides or dash so well. And yeah, it was just really cool to watch.
So, what are the things about this week that make it so different than all the other weeks at WEF for the hunters? Scott, let's go with you first.
Well, I
here.
think we all, as riders and owners with the horses, we want to peak for this week. This is our special week to get to go in the Grand Prix ring, and we really want to bring our best horses forward and have them be their best. So whether we not show the week before or show the week before just to get them in the groove to do it, it's bring some of the best riders, like Nick coming from California. So it's a different level of competition.
And Nick, for you come in with 3 buys. You can only ride 2 horses, but you come in with the least amount of pressure because you know I've got 2 horses and I can pick from any one of them. Scott only has 1 buy, and Paige has a buy too. Who Paige? This class, is this your second time doing it?
I actually watched last year, so I got to watch McQueen and Babylon do it with John,
And so who are you going to ride?
probably Babylon.
Probably Babylon.
Yeah.
Scott?
Lucky.
It's a little undecided. Depends how tomorrow goes. Right now, Daydream, I'm hoping. Depends on, Sophie also does her in the amateurs, so depends on that. And probably the California Love or Baloo's Bow, probably the ones that are in contention.
And then Nick, have you figured out which ones you're going to ride?
I'm kind of in the same place as Scott. It just sort of depends on how the week goes. You know, like you said, I had 2 buys, so there's not a lot of pressure on my end as far as qualifying the horses for the class, but there certainly is a lot of thought process that goes into selecting the horses for the class, and I'm just sort of going to wait and see what all the teams decide and where we end up, who we end up going with, and what horses are going to be feeling their best and performing. Like Scott said, we'll kind of know after tomorrow how the horses are seeming. It's really a matter of who feels in their best shape for that class and who's going to really shine.
Well, you've got 1 win. Scott has won the class 2 times with Catch Me. And you've trained 4 winners, with Ovation winning 3 times and Way Cool with Tori riding when she was with you. What is it like this night? Let's take a look at one of Ovation's winning rounds. All right, well.
Well, I mean, the night it's different than any other hunter class we do, pretty much. Maybe besides Derby finals at night. To go under the lights, it's a whole new ball game. Some of the horses that perform great during the day can't handle the elements at night because we don't get to do it that often. So it's a lot more pressure, and
you kind of need one that will rise to the challenge.
And you never
thrives.
know. And you never know. Sometimes the ones that are used to it aren't so good
Ovation.
at it.
There's Ovation.
Here's that round.
That
Like
cute
Ovation
horse.
actually ended up being awesome doing this. Obviously, won it enough times with Tori, but he was not the easiest animal to ride. He could be spooky, but and Tori put it together.
So, on a night like this, how do you prepare for coming out? What is your thought process for you as the rider, and getting your horse prepared?
Well, I try to keep it as similar as possible, as we always do. I do the last 2 times I have done it. I've gone and practiced under the lights, which I did not do before. And I think that helped the last few times I did the class. If you're going to get into a ring with some lights, I think it's important to practice that because it's a whole different game out there with the shadows.
Nick, you've now done the class a few times here, and is that sort of the same thought process that goes into your prep?
Yeah, I think there's a balance between not changing things completely for the horses, keeping things pretty consistent in their training and their preparation, and then just kind of knowing maybe the strengths and weaknesses more of your horse for the night, and just focusing on that. I think the class requires that the rider it just really has confidence with the horse going around, and the horses will sense that. And I've certainly had ups and downs in the class over the years. I've come for this class several times, but it's always a great experience. I think at the end of the night, it's really fun to be in this special atmosphere. The horses pick up on that a little bit more than normal, like Scott was saying. So it's just kind of about, I say, holding their hands and just keeping the horses confident going around. I talk to my horses a lot, so I feel like it's something I always do just to keep them happy and smooth going around the course.
Well, let's take a look at your winning round from last year.
Must be the first round.
So kind of walk us through that evening for us.
I mean, Queen is a horse that he's so special and have a great understanding of his mindset. So I really feel confident with him going into a class like that. He also had won one of these classes in Thermal as a first-year horse the year before, and lots of championships to his resume. So I really actually felt super solid with him, and I knew that he would enjoy the atmosphere and actually work in his advantage, which I feel like in the handy round he's jumping beautifully in this round, but in the handy he kicked it into another gear that was felt so much fun to ride. And the ring is big. Like I said, the atmosphere is big. There's a lot going on, but it really allows you to gallop. And I think that was one of the things I just remembered the most, was let the horse showcase his best gait. And this horse goes beautifully on a long rein and a nice open stride. His stride's huge, and he loves to gallop and jump big jumps and jump them well. So, like I said, and then the handy round, the next portion of the class, just really even got McQueen more into the vibe. He knew he had to make up some points. I was not in the lead after this class. I had to make it up. Scott was in the lead, I believe. And always being behind Scott is nerve-wracking, and you got to really try to go in and do well because Scott's hard to beat. So, like I said, also, it's luck. That night, Scott's second round didn't go as planned for him, and my horse happened to go really well in the handy. And that's just sort of luck and just the way horses are.
Well, Scott, one question we have for you. You're a Hall of Famer already, 8-time world champion, probably 10-time Devon leading rider or more, Capital Child's 10-time leading rider or more, Washington, the National, Devon. What keeps you doing this?
Well, I love the horses. I love bringing along young horses to this level. It's pretty much the only thing I do, and it's just a passion of mine. It's a great life. It's a great way to get up every morning and look forward to your day.
Let's take a look at California Love. We have some footage of California Love, one of the horses you may be riding from action earlier in the circuit. And today you had a great day today. You had a 92 and, in rounds. Tell us about California Love.
Well, California Love, I bought as a 3-year-old, so I'm really proud of him. He's Betsy Parker owns him now, but he did very little as a pre-green horse, so this is his 3rd year doing the real divisions, and he's really gotten so easy and dependable. This is only his 2nd show of the year. He was champion at the National Horse Show, and then he showed 2 weeks ago to get ready for this. And after this week, he probably won't show again until week 12. So I know him really well. I'm comfortable on him. He has a big stride. He's a great jumper, and he's brave. So I think, I've never shown him under the lights, but I think if he's going to do it, I think he should be pretty good at it.
We'll go after this, and let's take a look at Catch Me, your horse that you won 2 years in a row on. So,
no, Catch Me's awesome. He's in a league of his own. When he was good, it was the easiest animal to ride. You didn't need the reins. He just had a great rhythm. He was such a beautiful jumper. And it took a little while to get him to this point. He was a spooky horse as a young horse. It took extra time to get him to this level. And the Gotchmans were really patient and let me show him his 1st year, 2nd year before they started showing me the amateurs. So it took a while. But now, he's ended up being one of the easiest horses I've ever ridden.
Scott's a master at giving the horses all the best chance to shine. He knows when everything that makes the horse go well. Scott knows how to get them to that point. That's something I always admire about Scott and try to emulate and be like him, because that's a true testament to his horsemanship.
Paige, you were the world champion junior rider last year.
Yes.
Had a pretty good fall season.
Yes.
Grand champion, good champion every week, basically. Tell us about how your riding the junior hunters evolved. Princeton was kind of the one that got you going and really winning. Let's take a look at Princeton.
Yeah.
Tell us how he set you up for San Pedro and also for Babylon.
Yeah, Princeton was my first, I would say, 3-6 large junior hunter, and he had a lot of success with Stella Wasserman before I had him, and I would say he taught me kind of just the basics of the junior hunters, how to keep your leg on, how to have a nice feel, give the reins at some point before the jump, and I've really just watched him grow with me so much, and he's literally learned how to relax because he used to be a little tense going around the ring, but now he just knows his job so well. And I'm able to just kind of give him the reins everywhere, and he stays and knows his job. Yeah, but then I would say San Pedro 15 really has helped me kind of learn a deeper feel and connection with the horse, and kind of how to just have an elegant ride around the ring as a hunter.
Well, one thing that you got last year was your first year with Babylon, who, along with Catch Me and the Queen and some of these others, would be, if you had a horse that you asked somebody, do you want to ride? I think that would be one.
Yeah,
Tell
I bet
us
it
about
would.
Babylon.
Babylon is obviously a very, very special horse. He has had so much success with John and Ariana, and honestly, I was just so grateful I even got the opportunity to be asked to try him, and it's been just so amazing, honestly, riding such a successful horse. Everyone loves him. Everyone comes and pets him and watches him, and it's been great to work with John. He's obviously such an incredible hunter rider, one of the best. But Babylon, he's definitely not easy. He's taught me really how to, he was also a little spooky as a young horse, so he's developed a lot. You gotta really keep your leg on around the ring. He's very lazy. But if you give him that support and just let him jump nicely, he's obviously one of the best hunter horses in the country. He's just super cute.
So he'll probably be the ride you take with your bye.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if you're going to take one more in, and let's say you were great, and Princeton and San Pedro were there, which one would be your second horse if you could ride two?
I haven't decided if I'm showing Princeton or Ever So Often in the smalls yet, but it probably would be San Pedro 15. I haven't done him in a night class before, but I think he would really step up to the challenge and maybe look a little bit, but that might help his jump even more and help him be more impressed. But yeah, I did Babylon in the team challenge last year, so I know he's good under the lights, and John's at him in the spectacular, so that was great.
Well, tell us a little bit about San Pedro.
Yes, Parker, or San Pedro 15, is very, very special to me. I got him after Elle Edmond did him in the juniors, I think it was 2022. They tried to put him in the equitation, but that wasn't for him. And it's just been so special to really kind of develop him, because he was very spooky. He was very traffic sensitive in the warm-up ring. It was really hard to warm up, especially in California. And honestly, I was just telling Jim, my trainer, it's just been so cool to see how mature Parker has gotten over the years. Now he doesn't look at anything. He's not aware of other horses in the warm-up ring. It's just so cool to see how much he's grown.
Well, one of the things that you do outside of horses is you work and have been very involved with the kindness movement. Tell us about that.
Yes, so I got, the founder is Izzy Baker, and she rides at Elvin Star in California with Jim. And so in 2022, she needed some extra help because she was in college, so I was asked to be a junior leader. And it's been such an incredible experience. I kind of run the Instagram a lot, and it's a lot of sportsmanship awards. I designed the merch here at WEF, which is really cool in Desert Horse Park. One of our sportsmanship awards was in Michigan. We did one at Desert Horse Park this year. And we have a big team of ambassadors all over the country, so that's super cool. And it's just been so fun to watch it grow, because it definitely has grown over the years, and it's nice to be a part of that.
So, the kindness movement, I think this is a week where maybe some people need the kindness movement, because I think people get so intense about this week, and the pressure is so hard. What is some advice that you have for these riders and the kids who are coming in to show this weekend, and the ponies and all the way up, and their trainers, that kind of help cope with the pressure and everything for this week?
I'd say qualifying for it, it's a good reminder that kind of just keep in mind that it's like every other week. You've done this a million times. Just go in there and ride your horse and try not to think about the pressure and have fun. I think that's something I remind myself a lot, is just to have fun. We're so privileged to be able to even do this with these animals, and that they let us go around and jump these weird jumps sometimes. And so, yeah, just to have fun mostly, because it's so we're so lucky to be able to showcase our amazing horses at WEF, and especially in the big spectacular. It's just such an honor.
Now this year it is the 29th Palm Beach Hunter Spectacular, and it features the biggest purse we've ever had, $150,000. Scott, you've been doing this. Have you done all 29?
Possibly. I don't know. I've done a lot
He's
of them
only
for
30.
sure.
I don't know
yeah,
how
I'm
that's
only 30,
possible.
35. 35.
Tell us about what this increased prize money is like for you
Oh, I
guys
think-
as riders and the owners.
I think it's great for the riders, the owners, everybody involved to have a bigger money class. Hopefully it'll get bigger and better as it goes, but I think it's important. You know, the owners put a lot into this and support us, so for them to get some prize money back is awesome.
So one of the things that this event also does is in the VIP tent, the tables are purchased and it all goes towards the American Hunter, or what is the Emergency Relief Fund and the rescue funds and stuff that are handled by the USHA Foundation. And what is it, last week we raised money for the Boys and Girls Club, and this week, what does it feel like knowing that while you're competing and people are coming out to watch, that you're also raising some money that goes out to help some equestrians that are in need many times?
I mean, I will say that I think it's so great we get to do this. As they said, it's a privilege to ride these horses, and it's so much fun, and there's a lot of pressures and things that go into this sport, and for the owners there's expectations, and we want to do as well as we can do, but remembering that there are people in need and that those type of events can help someone else in need is really a special thing, to help another person and to be there to support people in challenging times. It puts us more into a perspective, obviously, and I think for me, I think it's a great thing to know that good things are coming from this, and it's not just something that we take for granted.
So going on for the rest of the season after, I know all three of your goals is to be the winner on Saturday night, but moving forward, what's your plans for the rest of the year, Scott?
For myself, after this week, actually, I go away for a week, and my horses have a couple weeks of not showing here, and I will probably show week 11 and 12, and then they'll have a couple more weeks off, and I do one Kentucky, and then another week at home, and then Devon. So that'll pretty much be my spring schedule.
Paige?
I have next week off, and then I think I'm doing the rest of the circuit, maybe 1 week off there. But then Devon, maybe some shows in California again, and then summer shows, Junior Hunter Finals, obviously. Then I go to SMU in the fall to be on their team, so hopefully I'll get to come back and do indoors and finish my junior year.
Exciting.
And then Nick, your goals for the rest of the season?
My goals for the rest of the season, honestly, just to enjoy the ride. I don't know how many times I'll be back or not to Wellington. I've got a lot of horses in California right now, a lot of new ones. I think it's fun for me to import horses because it's kind of trying to develop the next future stars of our sport. So I'm going to be going back and focusing on getting those horses trained and ready for future competition.
All right. Now, question that we had come in from a viewer for each of you. If you could ride any horse of any era, what horse would it be and why?
Oh gosh.
Scott?
I would say probably Babylon. I would like to ride Babylon. I actually, funny story, when I bought California Love, I was on my way to try Babylon.
John beat you
Really?
there, huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yes, my plane ride was directly there to try him, and before I got in the rental car, I think Kent had purchased him. So California Love was actually my next stop, and I bought him. So probably Babylon, I think.
Aha, so now we know something that no one
Yeah.
else knows. Even Paige didn't know that. All right, Paige.
I would probably say, I don't have like a specific horse in mind, but I think a really cool like jumper. I ride a lot of the equitation horses and hunter horses, but I would like to get more involved in the jumpers and see how it would feel to ride kind of like a top level one and see how the feel would be different compared to what I'm so used to.
Nick.
All right, my favorite horse right now to watch, which I think I would love riding, is United Touch. Pretty awesome horse. It just looks like a horse that you could gallop the canter, the way he jumps. That horse just looks like a brilliant athlete, and I would do anything to ride that horse.
And you could win the under saddle class.
Yeah,
Well, maybe-
he's a top level jumper that moves beautiful and jumps beautiful.
Richie is, I'm not sure if he's in town this week, but we'll try and get you together with him. I doubt that he's going to let you do that, but
All right.
I wouldn't give that horse
Give
up
it a
if
try.
it was in my party either. Yeah. So, all right, coming up in the international ring here at Wellington.com, all day live streaming all throughout the show. And Friday on the Derby field this week, we have the sixth round of the WEF Challenge Cup, followed by the Hermes Meter 50 Classic on Saturday. Saturday night here, the main event of the week, Saturday Night Lights, it's the $150,000 WCHR Peter Wetherill Palm Beach Hunter Spectacular. Hopefully one of these three takes the win. And we are back here Sunday morning. It's the Brain Juice U25 Grand Prix on the Derby field, and we'll conclude our week with the IDA Development $140,000 CSI 3-Star Grand Prix. As always, we'll bring you continued coverage from the International Ring, Derby Field, and Grand Hunter Week all week long, and that can be watched on WellingtonInternational.com and the USEF Network. Heading into the week ahead, here are our current leaderboards. First on our leading hunter, horse, and rider standings, this man right there, Scott Stewart with Forever Romance. They are currently in the lead with 325 points. Jeffrey Hessling takes up the next two spots. Oh, Nick just said he bought the horse from me. Jeffrey Hessling takes up the next two spots with Sandorian Aventus. Our leading lady rider is Natalie Dean at the top with 394 points, followed by Emily Condor of Belgium in second with 306. Erin Ballard of Canada in third. Mimi Gotchman and Lily Keenan round out the top five with 235 and 232 points respectively. The leading international rider right now in the list, Nael Nassar from Egypt takes the top spot on 291 points. Luis Fernando Larrazabal is in second with 272. Carlos Hank Guerrero from Mexico in third with 266.5. Natalie Dean and Richard Vogel complete the top five. Don Little Masters standings. Jean Reed and Atalante Duarte lead the Don Little Masters standings with 112 points, followed by Lauren Brody and Michael Smith in second and third place on 83 and 76 points. And last but not least, the Brain Juice U25 standings. Frances Nina Malave is at the top, followed by Emily DeHoff in second, Hallie Grimes in third, and Tim Brennan in fourth, with Milan Moroskovac in fifth, and Taylor Cawley, the young phenom from the U.S., in sixth place. Join us next week for WEF 7. We'll have Stephen Wild back as your host, and joined by Christian Kukuk, Mimi Gotchman, Rodrigo Pessoa, and we thank you for joining us today. Our guests, Scott Stewart, Paige Walkenbach, Nick Hannes. Good luck Saturday night.
Thank you.
For all of you here at the Wellington International, I'm Oliver Kenny. Thank you all for watching today.